This is Flowers on the Stage.
Talking about music, right? But I feel like in anything, whether it's painting, sports, doing podcasts, like it can be easy to kind of fall into a habitual routine. And it can be a challenge to keep things fresh and avoid like falling back into repetitive patterns, right? Um, would love to hear you talk about kind of how you keep things fresh and unique with your art, and just kind of in general how you approach that.
Gosh, I mean, really for me, like the best way is to go see really great musicians play and to be inspired from what they do. Cause so often, like your band is just gigging, and you're just sort of doing your own thing. You're listening to yourself play a lot. And then it's so refreshing to like go to all these festivals this summer and you're like hearing other people play, getting ideas from what they do, and then trying to incorporate those ideas into what you're doing. So like as far as musically jamming and stuff, it's so great to be at these festivals all summer, just catching little bits of what other people are doing and trying to add them to what you're doing or build on them or whatever.
Hmm. What would you say are the most important, like intangible qualities for a person to have in order to be successful as an artist professionally?
Just free, ready for anything, ready to learn. Having a big ego is not going to help you in any art form, probably. I mean, you've just got to love it, you know. I don't know if that is an intangible quality, but if you don't love it, you're never gonna make it in this business. It takes a lot of work and a lot of perseverance, and you've really got to love what you're doing. And I see that in the guys in my band all the time. They're in their 60s, and I can't even jam as much as they want to. Like these guys love music so much. That's why they've made it this long in the industry. Yeah, so just be like open to let ideas in and then see what ideas come out.
Maybe when you're stumped, I'm curious if there's any specific artists that you can like fall back on to kind of ignite you if you're ever, feeling kind of what's the word, in need of inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, if you're ever stuck, I really like getting out of my normal genres. Like that's my favorite. I live in Boulder and I love that the Boulder Theater books so many different types of bands. Like I'm seeing the same jamgrass bands over and over again all summer. I love what they do, and it is sort of like close to what we do, so it's really fun to learn from what those guys do. But like the stuff you can see at the Boulder Theater, you'll see like BB King. I've seen Bella Fleck there, Taj Mahal, and then they'll have classical stuff and comedians and stuff, international music, like getting out of my normal comfort zones of what I listen to is the best way to get inspired. And then to start learning some of that stuff. I've been playing banjo a really long time, and somewhere in the middle, you can easily plateau and you're just like, I don't know what else to learn or like how to get inspired again. And I really got into Celtic music, which sort of fits on the banjo. And through learning like these old ancient Celtic melodies, I gained all these new technique things and sort of some new harmonies I wouldn't have found before. And then you end up putting those into songs you write, and you just build on that stuff. So definitely just get out of your normal genres and maybe even go around the world and see what stuff sounds inspiring.
Hell yeah. I would love to hear the non-banjo artists that you most look up to and why.
I'm really into mellower music, like the whole indie folk and just like singer songwriters. I love John Prine, love Watch House. I just saw them last night, so awesome. But I do like listening to some classical, like Debussy's harp stuff. I can get really into when I'm just relaxing, and those sounds, like I can hear a lot of that stuff coming out in banjo music. And I also like to listen to old classic jazz. I was a jazz major. That's
Are there
really
any
fun to go
specific
back.
like just artists that you not as much like you enjoy the going to their music, but like that you look up to them as an artist?
I mean, just as a banjo player, Bella Fleck, you know, he was just at Telluride, and we're at Telluride Bluegrass. When Bella Fleck is there, he plays in like 5 different settings throughout the weekend. You know, he does one
There's
with the
nobody
Bluegrass All
like Bella
Stars.
Fleck.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he's in our hotel, and we're at breakfast with him, with our kid running around being annoying, and like, and he's just such a cool guy. I don't really know him, but he's always friendly. We've said hi and jammed a couple times, but yeah, like seeing him through that weekend play in so many different settings. He did the Bluegrass All Stars with Sam Bush and Jerry Douglas, and then he did the project with Zakir Hussain and Edgar Meyer and an Indian flute player. And that's totally crazy. And then he sat in with a bunch of people. And yeah, like somebody like that that can go from one genre to the next. It's really inspiring. I don't know how he finds the time to stay on all this stuff. He's just got a new thing every year. It's crazy. I mean, I wish I had the drive that a lot of these other musicians do. And I do not have that drive to learn the amount of things that he's learning. But I have my
It's
routines
something
that I
else.
really, it's something else. I mean, I have something I love to like, I have these routines I do with my music that I really love. I get up at sunrise almost every day, and I go out with my banjo and I just jam for a while, usually like make something up. And a lot of the time I'll make a video and post it. And that's been kind of a fun routine. I get up at like 5:30 in the morning, and on this hillside you can see it all, and it sort of like gets my mind thinking about music first thing. Then I'll have a little melody stuck in my head the rest of the day, and maybe that'll lead to a song, or maybe I'll completely forget it. But that's been kind of cool.
Would love to be a fox on those hills in the morning.
My neighbor's always down there yelling up. He's like, "Yeah, man, keep it going." If he's awake.
I love it.
Yeah.
In each episode of Flowers on the Stage, we will be featuring an organization whose mission we want to amplify. Art as Action Dance Company is a physically integrated dance company based in Broomfield, Colorado. They create opportunities for dance, creativity, and community for older adults and people with disabilities, primarily those living with Parkinson's disease. You can dance with Art as Action in their weekly Reconnect with Your Body classes in person and from the comfort of your own home with online Zoom classes, or witness their dancers live at their annual performance. Dance is for everybody. Come dance with Art as Action. Learn more at www.artasaction.org. To nominate a future featured organization, message us on socials with a link to the organization you'd like to nominate. Now, back to the episode.
So we're talking about Bella Fleck and like thinking about others in that kind of stratosphere. I'd love to hear what you think are some of the differences between those types of people, like the greatest of great musicians, and then kind of the rest of the pack, and what you think are some commonalities that separate these types of people.
I mean, those people, they're completely obsessed with music, and it's just like every bit of their heart and soul. And it's crazy. You'll run into these people. They can just play and practice. And it's incredible that they can do that. Like, I mean, you'll run into these guys, Billy Strings, Bella. I'm trying to think of other people I've known personally that like when you get around them, all they want to do is jam, and they're just so into music. I don't have that exactly. I love music, but I like to do a lot of other things. I like the outdoors, and I'm always out like biking. So I wouldn't like spend my day sitting at home playing banjo. and I need that. But hey,
It's something else.
it's something else. They just love music and they're inspired to learn.
Mm, yeah. It's crazy, like where that comes from, though. You know what I mean? Like, how does that not dry up? I'm sure it does.
I'm sure it does, and like in Bella's case, that's probably why he gets a new project almost every year, every other year. He'll revamp the Flecktones every few years and do it for maybe a year or two, and then he'll be touring with another project the next year. And I mean, because of that, he's able to keep it really fresh and stay inspired and just stay at the top of his game. With
Mm,
our band, the band's been around 34 years. Sometimes we can sort of be going through the motions, but then something will happen, like we'll get really inspired by a really great sit-in or like a really great crowd that like brought this other thing out. And then you're just riding on that for a while, you know.
mm. That's the
We're not
best.
going from like project to project. We're all in this band. So you get inspiration from other little things.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, jump into the side a little bit. Looking back on, your progression, I'd love to hear if there's any kind of changes you've made in your personal life that have had like a big impact on you.
Um, I mean, things are pretty different now. I'm a dad and I'm married and I have this whole family life, and that can take away from your practice time a little bit. But I think like at the same time, I'm a little more grounded than I was, 5, 10 years ago, and maybe mentally more together on and off stage. You're not drinking as much. You're not doing the things you used to do when you were like a 20 or 30-year-old kid, taking better care of myself. And that's really been great for my music and just my life all around. So to
Mm.
me, settling down, like having a family, it's just been awesome in every way. And yeah,
Has there been any like unexpected impacts that becoming a dad and all that family life has had on either you as a person or your music or anything interesting?
it's a lot of work and it's really fun, but like now going to festivals as a family is so incredibly fun. Yeah, it's just made festivals a whole new ball game. I used to be interested in what's going on late night in the campground, and now I'm wondering what's going on in the kid zone, and I'm looking at that schedule and I'm like, "Oh, when can we get our face painted and be in the parade?" And that wholesome stuff has been really fun. I'm really digging it. It's like a whole nother side of festivals that I never really knew about. I knew people always loved bringing their kids to festivals, but it's been really neat to discover that and be like, oh wow, like it's going to be great bringing up a kid in this world. We get to do all this stuff with them all the time.
I would love to hear something that you believe now about life that you didn't believe when you were younger in the past.
Oh gosh, it's very deep for me. Um, Something that I didn't believe then. I mean, I really never thought I would have kids or want to, and yeah, I mean that's been the biggest change for me. Is like as you get older, you start to feel that desire. Maybe I could do this, and then it sort of opens up this whole new world for you, and you're seeing the world again through a kid's eyes, and it's just making every little thing fun. To me, it makes those tiny things really, really fun and exciting, and that is so important in life. If you can just get off on these tiny little bits of excitement, or a tiny thing can make you happy. It's the simple things, and it is cliche, but it's just true. Like we just went grocery shopping, And with my kid, it's so insanely fun and hilarious. He's just like throwing all this random stuff and we're laughing and just little things that you didn't really enjoy before. Now they're funny and fun.
What can like me, right, who has I don't have a kid, like
Yeah.
what is it about how your kids living, like approaching that moment subconsciously that's like leading to that? Like what can us old farts learn about like being stoked about little
Yeah.
things and just making fun?
I mean, kids just they have no ego and they're totally innocent and they're just experiencing life. They're living in the present, you know. All the things we try to do as adults, they're just naturally doing. And like being around them is a nice easy way to feel that. And but like I've always been a very stoked guy. Like I've always been excited about little things anyways, but I mean I feel it more now. But for other people that don't have kids, I think just get out in nature and enjoy the simple enjoyment of like being out camping, hiking, or backpacking, or like bike riding. That's
For
how I
sure.
used to get that feeling, and I still do. I still need that nature time. But doing it with my kid is just the best ever, you know?
What do you think the future you would say to you now if they had the chance?
Oh my lord. Um, I don't know. Maybe don't be afraid to take chances. I can be a little safe. I like that. You know, I like to feel safe and secure, but it can be fun to take chances and see what happens. It's not something I do often.
Would you say that performing and writing music is, and even just on the hillside in the morning, would you say it's a spiritual thing for you, music?
I think it is. Yeah, I mean it's a spiritual thing and it's my therapy and it's how I make friends and it's my work. But yeah, it is still spiritual. It's a lot of things. But yeah, like
How
last
would
night I'm sitting on my deck watching the full moon rise and yeah, I mean you feel something. You're connected with the world.
how would
And
you explain to maybe like a younger cousin who's only listened to the radio before, who knows what music is but doesn't love music? Like how would you explain to someone with that perspective how music's a spiritual thing for you, and like what about it can be therapeutic?
I mean they might have to. I don't know if they would get it from going to a big concert. I don't know if they would get it from going to a festival even. Maybe I mean you can have those spiritual moments at a festival and at a concert, but if I have them up here on my hill and we're jamming some music up in nature, the animals are walking by listening maybe and you're just feeling the breeze. You're like in tune with the entire world. I think anyone would feel that.
This is Flowers on the Stage, a podcast about being creative and finding success. To support it, please check out our sponsors, New Belgium Brewing and Thrax CBD. And now, back to the episode.
So, with where you're at now, what does growth and improvement look like for you?
I mean, I really want to improve in my music. That's for sure.
So what does that look like for you? Like what is practice like?
It's something I haven't done a lot the last few years, because of personal life and stuff. I practice a lot on the road because I have a lot of time. I'm usually, working on something technique wise that I felt like I haven't been doing strongly during the show. I want to do this little bit stronger or that bit. And that's a lot of work, but I want to learn, you know, if you're feeling like you need to branch out and learn more stuff, it's good to learn other people's stuff that they've written. So like I could go back into the Celtic tunes, learn one in a key that I haven't usually learned, and then I'll come out of that with a new idea for a song. And that's where you start building. And technique wise, you just keep working on your exercises. And yeah, I mean, I should take some lessons from someone. I know other musicians that have done that late in the game. They're professionals, but you take a lesson from someone you respect, or someone that's like way above you if they do lessons, and that's a great way too. We're going to a festival in Denmark this summer in like a month, and there's so much Celtic stuff. I want to get in on some of those jam sessions that I didn't get to do last year. So
Have the kid do a little jig.
that would be great. He's not coming this year, so I'll be able to do the jam sessions.
Got it. There you go.
Yes. I won't be in the kid zone.
So let's say you get to write a piece of advice that goes in your kid's pocket for the rest of their life. What do you think you might say?
Oh man, more cliche stuff probably. Don't sweat the small stuff,
Nice.
Don't sweat the small stuff and follow your passion. Do what you love.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everyone out there, if you listen this far, we got links in the description to Andy's website and his socials where you can keep up with everything he's got going on, all his awesome morning jams with the Fox homies. And yeah, we'll also have a link here where you can get tickets to Leftover Salmon's 3-night Colorado run. Going to be with Yonder and Railroad Earth, and that's going to be sick. Andy,
Can't wait.
my man, appreciate you joining me. Appreciate you as always.
Thanks for your time.
If you're not familiar, you gotta check out the Fox Jams. They're all over the web, and yeah, man, can't wait to see you on the road, and appreciate you taking the time and helping us learn from your fatherly perspective over there, Dad.
Doing my best. Thanks for listening.
Well,